Introductory statement, you mentioned some of the things that we do, but I would like to say that we have a strategic transport master plan. It is a compass that is directing us to what we need to do for transportation to move in Lagos State. And so the very first one that we've done is the Blue Line.
So first off, how many lines have been planned for Lagos?
Well, we have 6 rail lines and 1 monorail plan for Lagos.
6 rail lines?
Yes, and 1 monorail plan.
What are these lines? Can we just reflect?
Okay, the Blue Line is the one that is currently in operation. Okay. It is powered by electricity. We have done the first phase from Marina to Mile 2, and that is currently in operation. So we are currently also implementing the phase that will take it all the way to Okokomaiko.
Okay.
Okay. So that's number one.
Right.
Number 2 is the Red Line, which we're also doing non-field passenger testing currently. It's a line that will move from Agbado to Marina. But recent development has also told us that we need to cut down on cost.
Okay.
And so that line will now go to National Theatre.
All right. So the original design was that it will go to Oyingbo and go across the waters to Marina.
To Marina.
That was the original design.
The original design. But now we're taking it to National Theatre.
Okay. So a kind of realignment.
Yes, National Theatre is going to be a kind of hub, a transport interchange. For all, some 3 lines that are planned for that area.
Okay.
So we have the Blue Line, stopping at with a stop at National Theatre.
No, I mean the Red Line.
The Blue Line has a stop at National Theatre,
right?
The Red Line will move all the way to National Theatre. Then there is also the one coming from Ojo. The yellow line that is coming from Oteri.
Okay, that's Songota.
Songota. That's ordinarily will go to Ido, but I think the alignment will now go to National Theatre. So you have those 3 lines meeting at National Theatre.
I'm just curious where that line will navigate through. Is it going to go through the main expressway, Lagos Abeokuta, or where? Where's the line?
Well, the visibility will tell us how the line will go.
Okay, but that has been planned already.
It's been planned, and it may mean that the line will be elevated.
Oh,
so that you can reduce the impact, on the ground.
That's going to be massive.
It's really going to be massive, just like the Green Line that Mr. Governor signed, the memorandum of understanding in China.
Right. It's
also going to be.
So that's massive. The 4th line. The Green Line. Where's it going to be transversing through?
The Green Line will move from Marina all the way to the Lekki Free Zone. Don't forget that Lekki Free Zone. That's where we have the new refinery. Mm-hmm. You also have the Lagos State Airport. Being developed, around that location. So it's going to relieve, a lot of other areas in Lagos.
Great. All right. So 2 more lines. The Purple Line is there?
Then we have the Purple Line. The Purple Line will move from Redemption Camp up to Ojo.
Wow.
To meet the Blue Line. So if your final destination is Okokomaiko, you just join the Blue Line at Ojo, and it will take you all the way to Okokomaiko.
Right.
Then we have the Orange Line, which is from Ikeja to Agbowa.
Okay, that's a Ikorodu corridor.
So this will come and meet the Red Line at Ikeja.
Wow. So it's good that you are talking about this, because I know a lot of times when we talk about transportation, people from Ikorodu always ask, where is our own share of the transport system? So we have a line for Ikorodu people, right?
Yes. So that's the Orange Line from Ikeja to Agbowa. Yes.
Right. So 6 rail lines, and the monorail.
The monorail is a circle line linking Marina, Victoria Island, Ikoyi, and Lekki Phase 1.
Oh.
It's a 16.4 kilometer circle line.
So it goes in circles?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And is it going to be elevated, or is it going to be on the ground?
It's going to be elevated.
It's going to be elevated.
And the monorail does not require so much space. It does not require so much space. And so it could even go in the median of the road, so you can elevate it, and you can also leave it in the middle of the road.
That's something we can take good advantage of.
Yes.
All right. So this is the rail lines that have been planned for Lagos. So at the moment, how many are in implementation stage?
Well, I would say that 2 Blue line has been fully implemented, like you said in your introduction. The red line, we are currently doing no-field passenger testing. And so we hope that before the end of the year, we'll begin full operation.
All right. So let's get back to the blue line, which you mentioned now. It started operation since, was that October or when?
September 4
last year.
2023, yes. So
right.
by September 4 this year, it clocked 1 year in operation.
So how far have we gone with it in terms of passenger operation? How many passengers have you been able to lift with the blue line? So far, so good.
We were able to move close to 2 million passengers within that period. Don't forget that when we started operation, we were running, skeletal schedule. Then later on, we increased it to 54 trips per day. But currently, we are doing 72 trips per day. And when we were doing 54 trips per day, it takes between 25 and 27 minutes to get to both ends. Either you're leaving My 2 to Marina or Marina to My 2. But currently, we are doing 18 minutes with 72 trips. So, and there's, even on a day that the road is very clear, you can't do 18 minutes on between My 2 and Marina.
Right.
So there's a lot of time, an average commuter will save using that system from either Marina to My 2 or My 2 to Marina. All
right. A flash update coming in here says that there's a broken down flat-bodied truck that's loaded with steel, and I understand the driver is yet to be sighted at that particular location. So it's broken down there at Ojelabi corridor. It's having effect on traffic at the moment, but traffic managers are on ground trying to do the needful at the moment. So that's around Ojelabi corridor. The traffic managers are on ground. I hear the breakdown is not really affecting traffic at the moment, but they're trying to see how they sight the driver, and then they can take that up. All right. So Mile 2 to Marina, which is a distance of how many kilometers? 12?
About 12 kilometers.
12 kilometers,
yes,
is where the train is operating right now.
Currently, yes.
Yeah, but the corridor is supposed to extend all the way to
Kokomaiko to make it 27 kilometers.
27 kilometers. So how far are we gone with the construction corridor of that rail, the remaining 13 kilometers, so to say?
Well, I would say that the construction is going on at a frenetic pace. Mr. Governor has given us the marching order that he wants to commission that project in the life of this administration. So, and we have up to 2027, but our plan is to see that the infrastructure is completed by about end of 2026.
Wow. Okay, so it's really receiving attention at the moment.
Yes.
In terms of the rolling stock for the blue line, how far have we gone? Is it just the same train, the coaches that we have, or what is the plan for that particular rail corridor?
Well, we have 3 rolling stock currently, and don't forget, Mr. Governor had actually procured 6 new train sets, 3 for the red line and 3 for the blue line. So we're expecting those trains sets to arrive in the country towards the end of this year or early next year. So, and they will not be deployed because we need to get those trains to get them on ground while we are working on the extension, so that by the time the extension is completed, we will begin to test them, gather a lot of data that will help us in planning the operation.
Which is good. All right, so I remember that out of all these lines that you've mentioned, the blue line is the one that runs on electricity. Is that all?
Yes, that's your
Is that the only line that will be running on electricity, or you have further plans to put some of the other lines on electricity as well?
Well, the red line is currently running on diesel because we're sharing tracks with the NRC. But where we will not share tracks with NRC, we'll definitely be running on electricity.
You'll consider that as well?
Yes.
So it's possible that the green line might run on electricity?
Yes, certainly will run on electricity. Then the blue line has its own dedicated power, 8 megawatts that is powering it. So there's not going to be any incident or power cut or whatever. And I also need to say that in the 1 year of operation of the blue line, we've not had any incident. There's no
safety incident.
There's no incident whatsoever.
Wow.
And we have not at any point in time had any downtime, in the operation of that system.
So it's moving on smoothly with electricity.
Yes. So it is very rare, even all over the world, that you have a system that for a whole year it will operate and you will not have any incident.
Wow.
It's because of the kind of engagement that we have with the people along the corridor, the staff, and everybody. Everybody is up and doing what they're supposed to do to ensure that we offer service to Lagosians.
Let's look at the features that we have on the Blue Line as the first line to be operated by the Lagos State government in terms of fulfilling its train obligations. What are the features that the train possesses?
Okay, well, I will talk about the entire system.
Okay.
For instance, parts of the pledge that we are giving to the people is the safety and security of everyone. Safety of individual, security of the entire system. Now, that rail system has over 300 cameras. So at any point
300 cameras?
Yes, CCTV camera. So at any point along the corridor, if there's any infraction, we will see you, and we have operatives who are always on ground to ensure that they go there. But like I said, we've not really had any incident. Number two is the fact that we have, when we hear that trains have been hijacked or tracks have been compromised and the rest of it. So what we do also was to install what we call broken rail device. Broken rail device, if there's any tap at all on the tracks, we will hear it.
You mean it?
Yes, we will hear it.
Wow. So you put in place that kind of technology?
That technology is there, and it's all over the world. I think Lagos is the only country in Africa that has that kind of system.
So what that means is that anybody trying to tamper with any of these things, there will be a kind of a trigger.
But there will be a trigger, and of course, that you cannot even go there because
it's electrified.
The system is electrified. It's powered by 750, volts of electricity. So if you go there, and I'll say that for people living along that corridor, I think they have done very well.
They've been cooperating.
They use the pedestrian bridges. They respect the system, and we want to say thank you to Lagosians for ensuring that we do not have any incident on this corridor. All
right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On Talk Time this morning, we're keeping tabs on the Lagos Rail Mass Transit System, and of course, the system has been in place for several years.
For the rail system, it's still the same carry card that we're using. The same carry card that you can use on bus, on ferry, you can use the same carry card on the train. In terms of the fares, for us, I think the fares are affordable because when you look at what we're currently, in fact, currently, Mr. Governor has asked us to implement a 25% rebate. Yes, and also, for the Blue Line that is currently in operation. I think from 11 o'clock to 4 o'clock, there's also a certain percentage of rebate.
Of discount.
That we get, yes.
Between 11 and 4 a.m.
Yes,
the 11 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, 11 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Yes, and so this is to encourage, Lagosians, to really plan their journey and use the train system off-peak hours.
Okay. All right, then. So you heard that from him, Soji. I hope that answers the question. This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. Can you shed some light on the technical specifications of the trains? Says, what kind of trains are being used? Thank you. You didn't put your name, by the way. Okay, so technical specifications of the trains?
Well, I don't really think that, saying the technical specification of the train here really matters. What is important is that you have a system that is working. I'm not an engineer, so I may not really be able to tell you
this kind of specification.
But I know that the train is powered by electricity. So in electricity, air conditioners are working. The doors are hydraulic. That's as far as I can go. But in terms of other information, I don't know. An engineer will probably have to do that.
Let's look through that Agbado to Oyigbo corridor again. How many stations have been planned for that particular corridor?
We have 8 stations. If we start from Oyigbo, we have Oyingbo,
Okay.
Yaba, Mushin, Oshodi, Ikeja, Agege, Iju, and Agbado.
Right.
Yes.
So those are the 8 stations
Those are
for...
the 8 stations for the first phase that we have implemented.
Now, this corridor is a shared track
Yes.
with the federal government.
Yes.
Now, how are you going to operate this in such a way that you won't have collisions?
Well, we are working in partnership with NRC. Actually, NRC granted us access to their tracks, and so there's always communication between the control center and the drivers. For instance, we know what time the National Rail will get to Agbado. We know what time we'll get to Agege, because when it's coming from Abeokuta, the first place it will stop is at Agbado, and the next place is Agege. After Agege, it moves all the way to EBJ. So during this period, there's a communication between the control center, the driver, the ground staff. So it's been done in such a way that there will not be any collision among the two systems. Now,
you have the Agege station, the Agege train station.
Yes.
Is it a shared station as well between the federal and the state government?
No, we have our own station. The whole essence of the Agege station is that anyone, for instance, who is going to Oshodi and is on the National Rail, will alight at Agege and join the red line at Agege, because Agege the red line will take the passenger to Oshodi. Because, like I said earlier, after Agege, the National Rail will not stop at any other stop until it gets to EBJ, Ebitemeta Junction.
Okay.
So it makes it easier for someone to say, okay, I'm going to Yaba, or I'm going to Oshodi, or I'm going to Mushin. So if you're a passenger on National Rail, you have to alight to join the red line to take you to your preferred train station.
Right. Okay, so that's the way it's going to be working out.
Yes.
All right. Now, how often will I get to pick up a train when this Agbado to Oyingbo starts?
Well, currently we are doing 4 trips per day for the test operation. Well, I think by the time we get to the point of operation, we'll certainly let the public know how many trips the train will be doing in a day, and we'll share the schedule so that people can plan their time alongside the schedule.
All right, then this one says, hi Victor, Mr. Ojelabi, how are you ensuring that the rail system is accessible to all, including people with disabilities? You didn't put your name, by the way. Okay, so what are the plans for inclusive access?
Okay, so what we have with all our rail system is that it's for us to also include those living with disability. So at every station you get to, we have an elevator that will take passengers to the concourse.
Okay.
And then from the concourse, there will also be elevators to take you to the platform. Now, the platform and the trains, they are at the same level.
Oh.
So if you are on wheelchair, you can wheel your chair into the train and go to the specific spot that have been reserved for wheelchair. And if you're on crutches, you can also use the lift to get into the concourse area. From the concourse area, after going through the turnstile, you move down through the elevator to the platform. And when you are alighting from the train, you also use this system to get back. So the stations have been planned to be inclusive. There are also ramps at the station for you to take you, as soon as you arrive at the station, to take you, into inside the train station to use the lift or to use the escalator, as the case may be. And there are also stairs for those who want to do some form of exercise.
All right,
using the stairs.
Which is very good. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We're talking real mass transit system right here in Lagos, and we're looking at it from the perspective of LAMATA. The rail lines that they are implementing: 08099120777, 09153877127. You can share your concerns with us. Flash update coming in says there's a broken down car with a ball joint problem at Jakonde intersection inwards Lekki. A tow vehicle has been contacted for its evacuation. Thank you so much for that one. It appears we're having lots of incidents this morning. Okay, another flash update coming in from the control room says the incident at PWD, that's the accident between an LT bus and a septic tank truck at Mongoro inwards Elezik, heading towards Oshodi. I understand it has been taken off. All right. There were 3 casualties earlier on, and the police was contacted. But of course, those vehicles that are involved, they've been taken off right now. So it's much better navigating through that corridor. Okay, then. So let's continue to hear from you. 08099120777. What are your concerns for the train or perhaps the rail mass transit that is being operated in Lagos? If you've gone through any one of it, you can share your experience with us and let Kola Ojelabi, who's the consultant corporate communications, respond to them. This one says, good morning. How does LAMATA plan to monitor and measure the success of rail projects once it's operational? Okay, maybe he's talking about other lines, or is it this same one?
Well, the success could be measured in many dimensions. For instance, you want to talk about availability of train.
Okay.
So if we promise that a train will get to the station at a certain time, is it there or not? And so if it's not there, what was the cause for it not being there? You can also measure success in terms of customer satisfaction. Are customers satisfied with the services that you are providing? In terms of maintenance of the system, when you get into the train, for instance, are the air conditioner working? Is the train dirty? You know, so there are many dimensions of measuring.
So talk to us now. I mean, from what you just said right now, that serves like the maintenance culture. So for the blue line that is in operations, how do you clean the trains?
Oh, well, the trains are clean as soon as they get to origin or destination point.
Okay.
Because at the origin and destination point, they have a few minutes of dwelling time. So there are things to be removed from the train. They are removed immediately for passengers to use the train.
Okay.
So when you get to when you enter the blue line at any point in time, you will find that the train is always clean.
All right.
It's a system that I use almost every day, so I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. All right. So in terms of people getting things that they can eat or drink, do you have that? Is that policy allowed?
For now, we're not still encouraging people to eat or drink on the train because the reason is that if you know our attitude, we'll buy something, after eating, we'll throw the paper or the nylon on the floor. And we don't want a situation whereby there will be clashes between commuters and ground staff when they talk to people to say, okay, you cannot do that, and they say, well, why are you here? Take this. So we are still not allowing that. But I believe that unlike what we used to see, that when the train first started, people would rush into the train. You hardly see that again. So I think over time, people are becoming matured in their interaction with the rail system. And each time we have the opportunity, also we talk to them that if there's going to be train at every 18 minutes, I don't really see any reason why we should rush. If I can get to the station and plan to say that, look, I'm not taking the train until the next 36 minutes. So it makes it easier, and it also gives you the opportunity even to walk around the station and recreate yourself. Probably you have gone through a stressful day.
Right.
You just go around and you create yourself and say, okay, afterwards I'll go into the train and I get home.
Right.
And one beautiful thing that this thing has done, because one of the surveys that we conducted, is that people no longer have to rush out of their homes. So, the kind of family bonds that was not there before is now, particularly for those along the corridor, it's now returning. You don't have to leave your home at 4 a.m. because you wanted to get to Marina to resume work at 8 o'clock. You can still leave your home if your home is like 10 minutes walking distance to the station, and still get to the office even before 8 o'clock.
All right, this one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. I am trying your line, but it's not going. Said, when it comes to the drivers, what are the measures for employment and also certainty of their expertise? Shegun from Igondo is sending that one in. So how do you recruit those who are the train, what do you call them now? Is it captains now?
What? They are drivers.
Okay, they're drivers. Okay, so how do you recruit them?
Well, we have a consultant that we normally recruit for us. And incidentally, we have a lot of female drivers.
You mean it?
Yeah.
For the trains?
For the trains.
The blue line?
For the blue line, yeah.
Wow.
A lot of female drivers. And these drivers have been taken through a lot of training. NRC, Nigeria Rail Corporation, is our regulator.
Okay.
And so if anyone is not fit to drive the train, he cannot go on the train. I mean, you can equate a train to a plane. A plane is an high-tech form of
technology.
Arts.
That's right.
Yeah. So the same way with the train, you can't just put anybody on it because you are driving a rolling stock that is probably 20 meters long. So the braking must be perfect.
That's right.
So you can't just put anything. So they have gone through a lot of training. They are not just like anybody who enter a car and begin to drive. No, they have gone through a lot of training. And so, but the training aspect of it is what we know. And it's not something that we can begin to discuss here. They are also taking through a lot of security measures.
Okay.
Even security experts, will usually also train them, so that when there are security issues, they know how to handle them. All
right, then Lagos Traffic Radio on 106.1 FM, 08099120777. You can also try 091 if the first line is giving you some challenge. 091 5387 7127. Okay, that's 091 5387 7127. That's the numbers that you can also connect with us this morning as we talk about the rail mass transit system for Lagos. Ojelabi is the consultant corporate communications for LAMATA, and of course he's taking us to the classroom this morning. All right, he's talked about 6 rail lines that are scheduled for implementation in Lagos. 2 of them currently in operations, so that's the way it is. Another incident report coming in right now from the Iba corridor. I understand that's it's a broken down 40-feet container truck at K2 inwards Yanera. Okay, K2 inwards Yanera along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway with a tire problem. The mechanic has been contacted. I understand no traffic for now, but the good news, we have traffic managers on ground trying to ensure that you have it pretty good navigating through that corridor right now. All right, then, so that's the flash report from that end. One message flashing in here says, can you talk about the timeline for the monorail? Okay, so can you talk about the timeline for the monorail and how it will differ from the regular rail lines? You didn't put your name, by the way. All right, so let's talk a bit about the monorail. So you said it's going to traverse through which areas in Lagos?
So the monorail will traverse through Marina, Victoria Island, Ikoyi, and Lekki Phase 1. All right. So in terms of the implementation, we have done the survey. We have also done the feasibility. A group of experts are looking at the feasibility, and so they will advise accordingly. So I cannot tell you this is when the implementation will be. Okay. So, but you said it's going to more or less go like a circle, right? Yes, it's going to be a circle. It's going to be a circle across those areas. Across those areas. The entire circle is about 16.4 kilometers. Right. Ikoyi and Victoria Island, Marina, Victoria Island, Ikoyi, and Lekki Phase 1. Wow. Okay. All right. I know you guys have what they call cable cars too, scheduled for implementation too. Is that still on or?
That vision is still on?
No, the vision is still on. The vision is still on, and I know that Ropeways, the company that was working on it, is still very much interested. But there are a lot of things that the state government will need to approve before we begin to talk about cable cars.
Right. So let's talk about the means of entering those vehicles from the passenger point of view. You talk about the carry card, right?
Yes.
Yes. So how do people get a carry card? How does it work on the trains?
The good thing is that the carry card is being decentralized. A lot of people are not able to get carry card when they get to bus stations or to train stations. So there are going to be a lot of agents that will be within communities that can sell to you your carry card and probably also top up your cards. So that is being done. But you need the carry card for you to be able to access the bus, the train, and even and the ferry. So it remains the Lagos State transport card that you need to possess.
Right. So with this carry card, you can make use of any mode of public transportation. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, regulated public transport. When I say regulated, I'm talking about those under the regulation of LAMATA or LASWA.
Okay. So with the carry card, you can make use of any of these ones?
Any of these ones, yes.
All right, let's begin to round this off this morning. We've spoken a lot about the rail system. What's the vision as we round this off on the program this morning? How soon should we expect the red line to commence operation?
Well, the old vision of the rail system is for it to connect with other modes of transport. And so when it is interconnected, you can plan your journey. I'm going to Ekpe, for instance, and I know that if I take the green line from Marina all the way to Lekki Free Zone or at a convenient bus station, I can join a bus that will take me all the way to Ekpe. That is the whole essence of planning. That is the whole essence of integration. And so part of also what we are doing to integrate all the transport modes is to build transport interchange hubs. So we have launched the construction for two of them, the one at Marina and the one at Mile 2. Okay, so when those ones are there, for instance, at Mile 2, we have the Lac Ferry terminal, we have buses, and we have also the train. So if you want to use any of the system at the interchange hub, you can easily use them. So the vision is to ensure that there's a seamless connection between transport modes.
Right. Okay, then we'll leave it at that for now. Mr. Kolawole Ojelabi, it's nice having you in the building. Thank you so much for connecting with us on the program this morning. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Victor.
There's a message that came in. It says, good morning, Victor. How far along, I don't know, understand it. How far along is the construction of the 6 rail lines and the 1 monorail? Thanks, Fola. Okay, I think Ojelabi has answered that one. This one says, Ojelabi, can you explain the specific roles of the different rail lines and how they will serve different interests in Lagos? Chioma from Kete. But I think all of these ones have been fully answered. We have to go now. Ojelabi, thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, the program has been produced by Dayo Anthony in the building. Thank you so much. Also in the building as well, Gloria George. Same for Ebunlua Ojelabi, who's also at the sidelines. We say a big thank you to you. Our social media team.